know what you're probably thinking. What the hell are phenomenon encounters? Phenomenon encounters are used to Pokemon Black and White. It's just a fancy way to call it shaking grass, dust cloud, and water bubbles. It's a way to encounter certain Pokemon you can't normally encounter just by running in those areas. So today, I decided I'm only going to use Pokemon Find in these various different ways in Pokemon White. And lastly, any old school rap fans, I know it's from LL Cool J's Mr. Smith album, not his actual album named Phenomenon. She said, this album cover is better for a thumbnail than this. Anyway, let's get this started. And to no one's surprise, my first Pokemon's gonna be Audino. And if you were surprised, it's okay, I get it. I left a very subtle hint in the thumbnail, so if you missed it, it's understandable. And now since we're playing Pokemon Black and White, get ready for a shit ton of early rival fights that don't matter. Especially since Audino's stat-wise part of the game, it's pretty busted, especially in its bulk. None of these early rival fights with Charon, N, and Bianca can really put a dent in it. Even the first gym leader can't do anything to it without getting eviscerated. And then Charon fight afterwards, same thing. But hey, now we can finally get some encounters. Let's get to them. And in the Dream Yard in Chicken Grass, you can find yourself a Musharno, which is our next team member. And also, like Audino, very OP for this part of the game. And I caught the little bastard. Not my most creative name, but it works. And we got another encounter coming up, which, fun fact, this is the whole reason why I chose Pokemon White over Black, is to get Sock here in Pinwheel Forest and Rustling Grass. Because, fun fact, not technically an exclusive, just a 5% chance. So, yeah, don't go for it on normal run. And easy-ass capture, so I like it. I'll call you Lapis, for no reason at all. And now we're doing yet another rival fight with N, the second one, and Embryo's already earning his place by demolishing his entire team in 3 side beams. Sure, also was unevolved, but hey, anything to get over on N, the worst thing to ever happen in Pokemon, is a bonus to me. On to the gym leader. And the gym leader is Lenora. First ups are Herdy, or Little for Embryo, 2 side beams do it in. Out comes her Watchog, and I send out Lapis to get out with 1 double kick, or is it technically 2 because it hits twice? I don't know, she got swept is all I'm trying to say. So what do we learn here today with this gym battle, kids? That an aborted fetus can destroy a dog psychologically, and then, what, a meerkat? Is that what Watchog is? Can get kicked to death by a karate dude. So yeah, very informal. Thank you, Lenora, for the badge. Is there something of interest happens between Gym 2 and 3? Time to fight Burb, the bug-type gym leader, and I know what you're thinking. Isn't there a fire-type Pokemon you can get in the Shaking Grass? Yes. Yes, there is. Anyway, first of his Whirlpool, off with Embryo holding a Quick Claw. Quick Claw pops Side Beam one-shots. Out comes his Dwebble using Fan Attack. Despite it being super effective, barely does anything to Musharno. Seriously, this thing is very OP for this point of the game. After he heal stalls for a bit, a couple Side Beams take out Dwebble. Last up is Leavanny. After whipping the first Hypnosis, the second one puts it to sleep. I bring it into the red with a couple Side Beams, but Leavanny wakes up, takes Embryo out with a Razor Leaf. Send out Decibel, finish it with a Secret Power. You see here? Who needs fire types? If I'm being honest here, I thought that fight was gonna go way worse than it did. Like, I thought me not getting pants with this fight so much, but nope, I kind of swept him. There's some good news now. We can get our next encounter, and then more rival fights. But hey, new encounter though. And it's Drillbur. I know what you're wondering. You could have gotten this way earlier, before Lenora, yes. And just like that, I've caught probably arguably the best Pokemon added in this game. Like, statistically, I think. I don't know why, but something's screaming at me to name you Robotnik. And now we're finding Bianca again. Let's see if she's actually worth talking about. Nope. Let's see if Charon will perform any better. And he did not, except this time, it was Lapis who sweeped him and not Embryo. But enough of subpar rival fights. Here's our next encounter, Emolga. Come on, I had you, this little cheeky fucker. He's the second most common one besides Audino. Now, what to name you? Palpatine. And that's all the accounts for now. Next up, another rival fight, this time with N. Let's see if he can prove a challenge like the last 2 fights. Nope. Robotics has a couple of home calls to his entire team. Even that damn Sigilyph always gave me troubles as a kid. Oh well, let's see if the gym leader can prove me a challenge. And Elisa did not prove me any sort of challenge. I set up 1 home call to Robotics with her entire team. I mean, she almost took him out, but almost doesn't work here. We're not doing government work or lobbing hand grenades, Elisa. You know, I never thought I'd get mileage out of Eviolite Drillbur of all things. And to think, he'll be a fully grown Excadrill by the time we get to Clay. No, he won't. I'm impatient. I want Earthquake early, so I'm gonna wait on his evolution. And since we got a new gym badge, a rival wants to fight us now. This time it's Charon, and he's not worth talking about. So Lapis completely dog walks his entire team. Maybe next fight, Charon, we have some evolved Pokemon. You might stand a chance. Probably not. Anyway, let's go see if Clay can give us any sort of challenge. And Clay could not do that. Lapis used his entire team, because who would have thought? Only having 3 Pokemon, 2 of them weak to fighting types, and the last one being a Palpitoad doesn't make a strong team. You kinda do it to yourself, Clay. A new badge, time for another rival fight, this time with Bianca, and surprisingly, she was a bit of a challenge this time around. First up was our Hurry, I leave with Palpatine to eat the Intimidate and go for Volt Switch, and it crits and one-shots a poor puppy. Did not expect that. I still send in Lapis because why not? What change she sends out Mushar, she sends out Musharna. Okay, I pivoted the best Decibel, and I eventually take it out a couple returns. By a couple, I mean like 10, 'cause she heals dolls with defense, curl, and hyper potions. What a bitch. Anyway, out comes Duat. I go for Grass like Aldino can learn for some reason. It does mad damage and a crit revenge takes Decibel out. I send in Palpatine, go for a spark to finish off the Duat. Last up's Pants here and Acrobatics obliterate 16 to the next dimensions. Hey, I want to say it was a little bit of a challenge, not a lot of it. I'm sorry the lack of challenge has been frustrating for y'all, but I hate to say Robotnik's evolving. And with that, I have arguably the best Pokemon in the entire game. And Robotnik immediately proved its new might by sweeping through all of N's team. Yep, one-shots literally everything with the sturdy Pokemon. Complete and utter dominance. Speaking of which... Huh. What happened to Skyla? Well, ignoring probable murder, time to fight Chirin again, and Palpatine did it again. He destroyed his entire team on Pheasant, dead. Pig Knight, ultra dead. Lightbird, dead. Simi-Sage, I don't know where the body is, that's how dead he is. Anyway, time to run away before the cops show up. And here we go, our next team member, Seismitoad. Ah, look at the little thing, level 42, Jesus. And I already have the perfect name for you. Bubble Frog. And now we're fighting the gym leader, Bryson. And now's the fight with the gym leader, Bryson. You know, with how many times I completely mollywopped this dude in different challenges, who's the easiest ice-type gym between Bryson and Wolfric? Because on one hand, Wolfric, you have so many tools like Mega Lucario or just any sort of special attacker. On the other hand, Bryce has a Cryogonal, Vanillish, and a Bear ticket for his 3 Pokemon. Honestly, tough decision to think about. And let's be real, they're both piss easy. Speaking of which, here's the final Bianca fight. First up, Sir Stalin. We will Palpatine to eat the Intimidate and Bolt Switch to Lapis. Then, a Brick Break makes Nerlin and an Orphan, and out comes Sir Musharna. Send out Embryo for a Miramax at mine, no Shadow Ball. Takes Bianca's out with 2 of them. Out comes Simisear, 2 Side Beams, take it out. Last up, Sir Samurott, and here's where Embryo's terror comes to end. I go for Charge Beams. I would have taken it out. She didn't heal so like a bitch. Seriously, full restore such a strategy. She would have been a great champion. Anyway, Embryo goes down, sending Palpatine to finish it off, except she goes for a Torrent boosted Aqua Jet, that crit, and Palpatine barely took it. At 4 HP, mind you. Then finished her off with a Thunderbolt. It's kind of fitting. Her last fight was her best performance, but still, it was not good enough. And would you look at that, the next team member, Reuniclus. And I caught it, which means, unfortunately, Embryo is leaving us. Mitochondria. I know it's misspelled. I have a character limit I'm working with here. And now it's time for the final gym battle against Iris. First up's Fraction. With Mitochondria, I realized it had Magikarp's got the Life Orb, Psychic one-shots that thing. Next up's Juggernaut. Psychic brings it to the red. Take a Night Slash, E heal salts for making more Psychics, take it out. Last up's Fracture. I go for Psychic, bring it down to the red, but then Dragon Tail gets a crit and takes out Mitochondria. Kind of a thorn on my side, but whatever. So now Robotics, she goes for a Dragon Dance one on the red for some reason, and Earthquake finishes off Haxorus. Okay, Iris, you kind of screwed yourself over there the last bit. You know, I just thought about something. Instead of Dragon Tail being a TM, a low priority move, imagine it was Dragon Claw. Like, Jesus Christ. This gym battle will probably go from like a 4 or 5 difficulty to an 8 or a 9. There's probably a ROM hack that did that, honestly. I don't really play them. They're not my style. But enough of that tangent. Let's go fight Charon for the last time. I think the best way to describe this fight is the best line in all of fiction. Somehow, Palpatine returned. Thunderbolt killed his Unpheasant. Acrobatics one-shot as Embor. Lifer comes out, 2 Acrobatics do it, and last up Simisage, and well, did I say it again? Acrobatics. The most OP move in the entire fucking game, apparently. Seriously, Charon, how does it feel that this is your climactic battle and you get swept by this thing? Well, now that all the rival fights are done and over with, time to leap forward then. Anin gets this. Let's get to it. First up is Grimsley, and well, he was a sweep. I used Lapis, close combat 4 times, deletes all of his Pokemon. Okay, on to the next member. Next up is Marshall. First up's Thoreau, Palpatine with the Flying Gem. With that, boosts its acrobatics, one-shots his throw. Next up is his Sock. I know it has Sturdy, so I go for a Volt Switch, send out Mitochondria, take a Stone Edge, then another Stone Edge, and Psychic finishes it all. Out comes Miancho. He goes for a Jump Kick for some reason. Bringing Mitochondria to the red and second one-shots. Less of Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr finishes off Mitochondria. Send in Palpatine. Go for a Volt Switch. No acrobatics won't one-shot it. I send in Decibel. He goes for Stone Edge, and then a Return gets a crit, and then he goes for a Hammer Arm, and Rocky Helmet Recoil kills it. Even though he did kill Decibel, technically, Marshall lost to an Aldino, so good luck coping with that. Anyway, on to the next member. Next member we're fighting is Caitlyn. First over the mirror match. Reuniclus versus Mitochondria. She goes for Thunder, I go for Shadow Ball, and I one-shot. Next up's Musharna. I send out Decibel. No one's going for Shadow Ball for a safe switch. I go for Thunder Wave, so I can safely switch into Robotics. Hit up a Swords Dance, and Earthquake one-shot to Musharna. I take an Ice Beam, so I go up, then I Rock Slide it and one-shot it. And last up's Galacta, who I one-shot with Earthquake. Now on to the final member. Now finally, remember we're facing Chantel, the ghost type trainer. Well, I just had Decibel, Toxic, then stall out the Copper Grease to heal, switch to Robotic, Simple Swords, and an Earthquake one-shot all of her Pokemon. Surprisingly, that's being Chandelure. That thing's a lot slower than I thought. Anyway, on to the battle with N. Here we are, the final end fight. First up is Rush Ramp, which bites me in the ass because I can't use a Robotnik set up on him. Oh well. Lead off with Decibel, take a Fusion Flare, but then I paralyze it with Thunder Wave. Then I started with a couple of returns, even create it once before Rush Ramp takes down Decibel. I then send a Bubble Frog and finish it with a Dig. Out comes a Clink Clink. I go for Drain Punch because I thought it was a Zoroark, except it wasn't. It's doing a Metal Sound, no Drain Punch takes it out. Now comes a Vanilluxe. I go for Drain Punch, get a crit. Barely not taking it out, but then he misses a Blizzard. He heals. I take it out 2 more Drain Punches thanks to Poison Touch activate, and all he does is set up the Hail. Out comes Zoroark, gets for Focus Blast. I go for Drain Punch, no Focus Blast, takes out Battletoad. You know what, Battletoad? That was your debut fight in this video. You put up one hell of a fight. Rest easy, soldier. I sent a Robotnik to go for Swords. I think he was going to heal, except he didn't. But he missed Focus Blast. He didn't miss another. I took it out with an Earthquake. Wow, I almost fucked up that run here. Anyway, out comes Caracosta. I go for Rock Slide to break it sturdy, and I also flinch it. Earthquake takes down. Lastly is his Archeops. He goes for Acrobatics. Doesn't do much damage to Rock Slide. That crit obliterated that poor bird. Wow, and you put up one hell of a fight this time around. But you want to know who didn't put up a hell of a fight? N's daddy gets us the real final fight of this game. First up is Copper Grease. Lead with Decibel and Thunder Wave to paralyze it. Then it's into Robotics to have 3 Swords dances, by the way. He didn't get paralyzed once the entire time. Just want to put that out there. Then I one-shot with Earthquake. Out comes Hydreigon, aka the Excadrill Killer. Want to know why? It knows Focus Blast, Fire Blast, and Surf. I think Game Freak knew how popular Swing was going to be, so he wanted to nerf him in this fight as much as possible. But it doesn't matter. He misses Focus Blast, Metal Claw one-shots him, and then all hell breaks loose on gets his team. Everything besides Electros got one-shot by Earthquake, and Electros got one-shot by Rock Slide. So yeah, pretty anticlimactic for the final battle, wouldn't you say, Getsus? Normally I would end it here, but I feel kind of bad for how long it's taking us. You know what, we'll actually leave forward and fight Alder for some spiciness. But first, there are a couple of very important things I want to do before that. Let's get right to it. And here's the first thing. And here's the next thing. Tyranitar. And there's the last thing I need. As sad as it is to let Decibel, Lapis, and Palpatine go, I decided I want this team to rematch Elite Four when I saw what I can make with these Phenomenon encounters. And now, let's get to it. After 20 levels of grinding. Oy vey.
2 days later.
Now that all the grinding's done, time to face Elite Four again. First up's Marshall, lead with Ripley, Swords Dance, and I'll sweep through his entire team with Acrobatics. One-shot all of them, except Saw. That thing is sturdy, but hey, still an easy-ass starting fight. On to the next member. Next up is Caitlyn. She lives with Musharna, I live with Reptar, but since Musharna can't hit Dark Type with all, she switches to Reuniclus, and I one-shot with a Crunch. Out comes her Metagross. She goes for Earthquake, just about a third. I go for Earthquake, and I one-shot it. Out comes her Siglet. Goes for Flash Gain, and it brings Reptar down to a third of health. I take it out with 1 Crunch. Out comes her Bronzong. I send out Bubble Frog, taking out a couple syrups after she heal stalls for a bit. Then she sends Musharna back out. I send out Reptar, get put to sleep by Hypnosis, then she sends out the Goth Tail, hits me with a couple Thunderbolts where Reptar wakes up in the red, one-shots with a Crunch. And then Musharna also gets down to a Crunch. Now on to the next member. Next up is Grimsley, and I no longer have Lapis anymore, so it might not be an easy sweep by hitting close combat 5 times. So instead, I leave with Bubble Frog, who knows Drain Punch, and heals with Torpedo. After taking a Waterfall, I one-shot it with a Drain Punch. Out comes Crocodile, and it has Intimidate. I don't want Bubble Frog to attack me low for this fight, so shut out the Ripley, he does nothing with an Earthquake. He then goes for Foul Play, is about half my health, and I one-shot with a U-turn. I send Bubble Frog back out, and out comes his Liepard. He goes for Fake Out, then Aerius, and I one-shot with Drain Punch, recovering most of the damage he did this fight. Out comes Scrap. He goes for Crunch. I take it down 2 Drain Punches. Trapion comes out, take it down 2 Earthquake. That's where he heals for a bit. And last up is a Bisharp, which has a 4 times weakness to fight and gets annihilated with 1 Drain Punch. Who needs a fighting type when you have a warty frog? On to the final member. Finally, for member is Chantel. She was with Copper Grease. I live with Reptar. Crunch one-shots it. Out comes her Golurk, which goes for Hammer Arm. It almost takes out Reptar, but Crunch one-shots it. And here is where I get insanely batshit lucky for the rest of the fight. Out comes Jelson, misses a Hydro Pump. I take it out with Crunch, but then cursed by Sable's Crunch. So out comes Frostlass, and it misses a Blizzard, and Stone Edge one-shots it. Then out comes Drifblim, which misses a Thunder, then Stone Edge one-shots it. Then out comes a Chandelure, which hits me with a Fire Blast and burns me. Stone Edge presents a little health, but then the Sandstorm kicks in and takes it out. Wow, I hope I didn't burn up all my luck for the rest of my life in that fight. Anyways, on to the champion. Here we are, the champion fight with Alder. He leads up with a Celigore, I lead with Reptar. He misses a Focus Blast, and then I one-shot with the Stone Edge. Out comes Drotagon, and also gets one-shot by Stone Edge. Next up is Bouffalon. I go for Stone Edge a little over a half. He goes for Mega Horn, also is a little over a half. And then I finish it with a Crunch. Next up is Ace Volcarona. He goes for a Bug Buzz, gets a crit, and takes out Reptar. But that's okay. Reptar was truly only here to set up Sandstorm to do as much damage as possible. The real strat is with Robotnik here, whose speed is doubled in the Sandstorm. So now he can outspeed and one-shot his Volcarona and Vanilluxe with Rock Slides, and his Falcon with Scavalier goes down to an Earthquake after I use Swords Dance to make sure I get the one-shot on it. And just like that, we have beaten this challenge with a really sweaty strat. I mean, let's be real. We all knew this challenge was possible as soon as I was able to get myself a drill bar and an extra drill. But I hope you all enjoyed regardless. It was really fun to use, and also a real big pain in the ass to get these encounters. Like, holy shit, that 5% Metagross wasn't worth it. I didn't use that fucker once. But enough of that. Hope you all enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment, see what you future, all other bullshit, and I'll see y'all later. Peace, bitches!